Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, we're going to be talking about a Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep PC mod. Yeah, that's right, we're talking about a different Kingdom Hearts game and not Kingdom Hearts 3 in the ways of a mod. The mod scene for Kingdom Hearts on PC has been absolutely overwhelming to a degree in my personal opinion, but of course that is specifically for Kingdom Hearts 3. When looking at the rest of the collection, well yes, there have been mods looking at Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 actually does have its own mod Nexus. The mod scene for the rest of the Kingdom Hearts games isn't as big as Kingdom Hearts 3. In regards to any other Kingdom Hearts game that isn't 2 or 3, there is little to no mods available. The main reason for this is because Kingdom Hearts 3 runs on the Unreal Engine 4, which is a lot easier to create content for, considering that anyone is able to use the Unreal Engine. So yeah, making custom content for Kingdom Hearts 3 is all the more easier in comparison to making custom content for any other Kingdom Hearts game, as those games run on Square Enix's very own in-house engine. For those of you who are wondering why the mod scene hasn't been really all that apparent for the other Kingdom Hearts games, that's the reason. However though, we do have a really cool one right here, and this is something that I think pretty much everyone should use if of course you are into it. And that is a camera improvement mod for Birth by Sleep, created by KeytoTruth. You may be wondering, yeah, the footage that I'm looking at as of right now looks different. This doesn't look like your usual Birth by Sleep. That's because the camera position has been modified. Now, as we all know, the camera positioning for Birth by Sleep is very close to that of the player, in similar fashion to that of Kingdom Hearts 1, where the camera is pretty much almost right up the ass of the character we're controlling. This changes that camera positioning to be more in line with Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, or Kingdom Hearts 3, where there is a good amount of space between the player and the camera itself. Personally, I prefer this mainly because I am used to the further away camera positioning, as most of the Kingdom Hearts games use this. What I find the most beneficial with the distancing between the player and the camera is that we can check more of our surroundings. We have more peripheral vision, we can take in more of the world itself. The world does feel larger when the camera has been brought back, which kind of in a sense changes that Birth by Sleep experience, and also means that we can keep a closer eye on the enemies that are surrounding us. Now honestly, at first this does take a little to get used to, mainly because we've always been used to the camera being so close to Aqua Terra and Ventus. This is almost in similar fashion to the Kingdom Hearts 1 Critical Mix mod that was for PC SX2, the PS2 emulator. That mod added like an almost critical mode to the game, but also introduced some like quality of life improvements as well, and one of those was improved camera distancing, which made the camera more in line with that of Kingdom Hearts 2's, to increase the distance between the player and the camera. And honestly, experiencing both KH1 and BBS with increased distance with the whole camera thing really changes the experience. There is actually a good reason though, when specifically looking at Birth by Sleep, as to why the camera was actually so close to the player, and that's because originally this game was on PSP. So it really only makes sense the camera was closer to the player due to the fact that this was originally a portable title. If this was the default distancing, honestly this would be really hard to play on a PSP, so yeah, it totally makes sense as to why it is the way it is. It's interesting though, because this is something that I do wish that Square Enix officially did for the HD remix version of Birth by Sleep. In case you guys didn't know, the camera positioning for Dream Drop Distance was actually altered for the 2.8 version of the game for DDD HD on PS4. It was as close as it is in Birth by Sleep on the original 3DS version, so interesting they did that for DDD and not Birth by Sleep. Again though, this does come down to personal preference, and I do know that some people would prefer the camera not to be altered. While it's enjoyable all around, I found that it was more so enjoyable with Aqua and Terra, mainly because they are obviously taller characters than that of Ventus. So I found with this mod there's almost a perfect ratio between character on screen to that of the world around you. Now, I've only used this mod for a few hours, and what I will say is I did come across one issue. Sometimes, randomly, if you do die and then of course retry or continue, the mod can just simply deactivate, and it won't actually fix itself until you back out to the title screen and then reload the game. Again, I've only played it for a few hours, so potentially there could be some other issues, but that is the only one that I'm currently aware of. I honestly recommend any of you guys that do have 1.5 and 2.5 on PC to give this a try. Really, it does breathe some new life into that of BBS. As I said, Birth by Sleep doesn't have a mod nexus, so the link to this mod is just simply part of a Google Drive. I will leave that in the description down below. I want to say a big thanks to KeytoTruth for putting in some work in order to make this happen. It's been long awaited, in all honesty. When I first experienced the Kingdom Hearts 1 Critical Mix mod with the improved camera distancing, I instantly thought of Birth by Sleep, so it's fantastic to see that someone has finally done this. However guys, as always, be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I'm Cynical, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.